Streaming gave us everything instantly, but it came with a trade off, one that we didn't realize the consequences of. Once upon a time, watching a movie started hours earlier. It began with a car ride and arguing with your family and friends about what movie you were going to rent. And once you made it to the video store, there was an atmosphere about it. You walked into the building, there were shelves lined with DVDs, there were posters on the wall, there were people everywhere. It was an experience. You had to walk every aisle, you had to look at every DVD, pick it up, look at it, feel it, and actually read everything that you wanted to know. This made choice much harder, but it actually made it more interesting. That time that you spent there at the video store, it was an important half an hour to maybe an hour, because the choice that you made, you were stuck with for the rest of the weekend. It was something where you had to negotiate with your friends and your family. What movie were you going to watch? It was a choice that actually mattered because you couldn't just switch it off halfway through and choose something else because you were stuck with that movie. And when you were walking those aisles, you were seeing other people, other families, figuring out what movie were they going to watch. And you got to see the choices that others made. You got to actually look at the DVDs that they looked at. You got to pick up the same things that they did and see, is that interesting to me or not? If it grabbed their eye, maybe it grabs my eye. Maybe it's something I'm interested in. Not only that, you actually had the experience of people that truly know new movies. These people that were working at the video store, the staff, they got to take movies home and watch them and recommend what it was that you should watch. And that social element just doesn't seem to be there when it comes to streaming. Yes, there is an online social element, but it doesn't feel the same. You can recommend movies, but being in a physical place, talking to one-on-one to a person that you can actually see and know and interact with is so very important in that choice. And then when it came to actually choosing a movie, the annoying thing was with new releases sometimes, they were out of stock. That one movie that you were looking forward to, maybe your whole family is looking forward to, it's gone. Everyone else came in and they hired it. Now you're stuck with the second choice. But the second choice wasn't always a bad thing because that's how you found cult classics. That's how you found the movies that maybe you and your family never would have looked at to begin with, but you ended up hiring and you ended up loving. And maybe you rehired it over and over again and it became that family favorite. So there was this opportunity where it's like a scarcity thing, but it actually allowed you to find things that you may never have found otherwise. Today, everyone has access to any movie as long as you have that streaming service. You have access to the same movie that 100,000 people are watching at the same time. And yeah, that's great and all. It gives you opportunity to watch exactly what you want. But then you may never discover that movie that you didn't think about watching otherwise. And I think that social element, that choice element is really interesting. So you're still there at the video store. You're still trying to make a decision. And the decision then actually felt more human. Now it's more of an algorithm choice. Well, when we have those B-grade horror movies, and they're the ones I specifically think of when I think of cult classics, they're the movies that may never have made it to the cinema. They're just sitting there on the shelf in that horror movie section. And if you are lucky enough to pick it up, if you're interested in those kind of movies, you would find a gem within a lot of movies that you never would have otherwise. And that gave these movies a second life. These movies may not have had big breakout success, but year after year, time after time, they just slowly get watched, slowly get recommended from horror fan to horror fan. These things become cult classics, and they would never have had that second life if it was thanks to a streaming service, because with streaming services, your only real choice is whatever they put in front of you. And if that doesn't do very well for the first month, they may just take it off. It may just disappear. And when it came to a DVD store, they're not going to invest in a DVD and then just chuck it out or sell it. It was a thing where it would sit there for much, much longer. And it gave these movies, especially the B-grade horror movies or those horror movies that were cheap, every other kind of indie movie that was cheap, it gave them a life. It gave them opportunity, an opportunity that they just don't seem to have today. Because today with the streaming services, there seems to be no permanence. They just come and go. And it's not up to you whether you get to watch that or not, or whether it's on the streaming platform or not. Those streaming services, they make the choice, whether it's on there or not. Old movies even that you may want to watch, like those cult classics, they would sit on the shelf for years and years and you could always come back to them. But now they just disappear like that off the streaming service if they don't want to have it on anymore. If it doesn't align with anything that the streaming service wants, all these things. Now, with a physical copy, they can't, the streaming service, the people that made the production company that made it, they can't just take it away. You've purchased it, the video store's purchased it, and now it actually gets to sit there and live on. So you've chosen the movie, you've come home, and now you have to sit and watch it. Whether or not it's a great movie or not, you're stuck with it. And that choice is so very important because it actually had you watching through even the movies that you weren't overly interested in, and actually made you sit and watch through the whole thing. And that's something we truly miss today because with the ability to do streaming, you can just switch it off and put on another movie that you may even only watch halfway through as well. The content seems to be more aimed at people that are like, it needs to hook you and it just needs to keep you watching, which everything really does, but it's all about like, you're just sitting in the background scrolling your TikTok. They just want something playing, and as long as you're connected to it, they're happy. But when it came to that physical media, you sat and you watched with intention because that choice you made, it cost you money, it's costing you time, and you need to bring it back. You have a day, you have a couple of days to watch it. So that choice is actually so very important. And then like if you were anything like me, you would take a DVD home and if you really loved it, you would watch it that whole weekend. You had it for 2 or 3 days if you were lucky enough to do the 3-day rental when it came to new releases, and you would watch it again and again and really delve into it. And when it came to actually viewing the movie, you had to watch it all the way through. And when you did, it actually made you think about what it was that you didn't like about the movie, what didn't work for you, what was that didn't work for the film, the story, the characters, why didn't you connect with that character, why it actually made you experience the movie in a completely different way. And now with streaming services, you can switch that off and not think about it at all anymore. You've just forgotten about that show. And then if anyone brings it up, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. I watched about 10 minutes and then I switched it off and watched something else. So you don't actually experience films in the same way anymore. And for those of you that were in the video store that were lucky enough to find the extended videos with all the special features and all the bonus things, that was an incredible find because you got to go home and not only watch the movie, you got to spend the whole weekend experiencing what it was to make the movie, what they went through, what everything means, all the little things that really mattered. And that's gone now. Streaming services don't seem to do that. Here and there, they might put out 1 or 2 of those things, but it's not an ongoing thing. Like every film doesn't have it anymore. And it's quite sad because as someone that really liked to learn more and more about those things, it was such an interesting thing. And it was so sad because people like me that really wanted to figure out what it was that made a movie great, how they made it, the choices that they made, the director commentary and all those things. It was important because it actually had people really engaging with the film. You saw the film on a whole new level because you knew the choices that they made, why they made those choices, and this actually really added to a sense of awe and wonder yet again. And it actually created people that were film fans, people that really wanted to know what it was to make a film. And this is how people get inspired to make the new films, to become new directors, to become people that do special effects or VFX and all those things that actually birthed a group of people that were passionate about film. Now you don't see what's behind the scenes. You just see the film and that's it. You have no idea how they're made. You barely know any information on what it was that made this film and what choices they made in order to do it. And it probably has people not really wanting to become directors and producers and VFX artists as much as what it was when we actually had special features. Today, when you're at home and you're watching your streaming service, it's not completely bad. There's so many good things when it comes to convenience, the amount of content out there. It's so very good for us in a lot of ways. And I don't want to just poo-poo on all the things that made streaming terrible, but there is something that we lost. There was an art, there was a sense of experience that is just not there anymore. And when I think about my kids, they're very young now. They never got to experience the video store. They never got to experience going into that place and looking along the shelves and figuring out what it is that we're going to watch this weekend. Their experience is now gone. You don't feel the atmosphere, you don't have any of it anymore. You just sit in front of a TV and choose what you want to watch. And that really does sadden me. And if you're anything like me and you grew up in the era with video stores and that experience, what is it that you lost? What are the things that you wish you could bring back, wish your children or other people could experience, or what you could experience one more time? I'd love to know down in the comments, and make sure you stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about owning physical DVDs and what the difference is with streaming and physical DVDs.